All right, so welcome back to the channel. Today we are doing the transmission change, or the fluid change on a 2016 Ford Fusion. This has the 2.5. I think the 6-speed's pretty much the same for all of them. I think it's a 6F35. I'm not sure the number on that for sure, but we're gonna get into this. So let me show you what fluid I have. The only thing I've done so far was actually take the fill cap off of this. So the procedure on this is a little different. I had a 2012 Fusion and I think it was a whole lot easier. The drain process is the same for both of these transmissions, but the fill process for this one is different. So let me show you what I got. Let me show you where the fill cap is, and we'll get into, we will have to crawl underneath of it and take the shield off of this. So that is the transmission fluid. I ended up getting this off of Amazon. This is the cap. It wasn't hard to get off, but I have a feeling it might be a little difficult to get back in. So let me grab a light, I'll show you where it's at in the car, and then I'm gonna work on getting the shield off underneath. I believe the shield underneath is a 7mm, but mine has mismatched hardware on it. So I also have Phillips screws under mine. It was missing a whole bunch. So on the car, let me grab a light. Underneath of the intake tube there, try and turn the light on, there we go. So you can kinda, let me see if I can get a better angle. Might not be able to. So there you go. The hole there underneath that AC line, that is where the fill cap came from. So I ended up reaching my hand from the front to take it off. I kind of just put 2 fingers underneath the cap, and to put it back on, I tried to mess with it a little bit off camera. I think you're gonna have to put your hand behind the intake tube, and you're probably gonna have to lift that line just a little bit, and it's kind of like a little bit of a dance to get that back in. So let me crawl underneath there. I'm not gonna show you how to take the splash shield off because, like I said, mine's missing hardware anyway. So I'll at least get to the point of underneath the car and I'll show you what we're getting ready to do. So once the drain pan, or the under pan of the car is off, this is what you're left with. So as you can remember from the video from when I did the oil change, it looks like everything's okay. I am still replacing that bolt. Someone said there shouldn't be a washer behind there. It should just be a rubber gasket. So I'm keeping an eye on the oil level and stuff. I'm gonna wait till the next oil change to do this. But on the right side of the car by the front driver's side tire, you'll see this is what the bottom of the transmission looks like. I was wrong by the way about the splash shield size. It's not 7mm, it's actually 10. And this one is a 7/16. So I'm in my pit, sorry about the bad lighting. So the reason I'm doing this is the car has 110,000 miles on it. I don't know if this has ever been done, and I'm not always getting it, but I am getting sometimes a hard shift from first to second, and sometimes a little bit of a delayed shift from, it's not slipping or anything, it's just takes a little longer to go. It doesn't want to quite shift into second, so, or from second to third. So like I said, transmission isn't slipping or anything. It's just, I would imagine the fluid's extremely dirty. So I'm going to do it now, and whenever the next oil changes, which should be right around 115,000, I'm going to go ahead and do it again. And probably one more time at the next oil change interval, and then after that I'll probably do it every 30,000. I know Ford says these are supposed to be good for like 110, or no, 150,000 or 100,000 or 150,000. But there's an internal filter in these. There's no serviceable filter in these unless you drop the whole transmission and clean the filter out. So I think I got 5 quarts of fluid off of Amazon for like 39 bucks. I mean, this is pretty cheap. The bad part of this whole job is the stupid splash shield underneath and the fill plug. That's kind of really bad. I will show you how to check the fill level, but this has to be warm first. So you are gonna have to remove the driver's side tire. But let's start with getting this off, and then we'll work on the rest of it. I believe it takes about 4.5 quarts. I'm only going to put 4 in and go for a test drive and check the fluid level on the side of the transmission. I feel like Ford could have made this way easier, because on the 2012 Fusion that I had, it also had the 2.5. You pretty much drain this, you fill it in through the dipstick tube, and then you're good to go. So this is made a little more difficult. And there's another shot of the boot, which is definitely going to have to be replaced, or not replaced, but at least clamped back on. So maybe while I'm under here and I have the splash shield off, I'll go ahead and take care of that. Let me put this down just for a second, and I'll show you what the fluid looks like coming out. I have the camera on my tripod, but the only problem is there's nowhere to put it under here. So I'm sorry that it's a little bit shaky. I went ahead and started loosening this. Let me make sure it's going the right way. Hold on 1 second. All right, I got it. I had it right the first time. I believe when reinstalling this, I believe the torque on it is 119 inch-pounds. I'm probably not going to use the torque wrench for this. It looks like nobody else does, and I didn't for the last Fusion, and it's still on the road after 4 years. So now the drain procedure on this, it doesn't matter if it is hot or cold. The fill procedure does matter. It has to be at least 185 degrees. So take the car for a good little run. But oh yeah. So I have heard Mercuron breaks down pretty easily, and it's that color. Obviously there's no flake or anything, and I'm not worried about that, but it is, I would say it's probably original. Whenever you put the drain bolt back on, there is a little bit of thread lock, or you can use like tape for it, which is what I'm gonna go ahead and do. But I'm gonna finish letting this drain, and then we're gonna go up top. I'll have to get a funnel, which should be fun to put in there as well. It's like Ford didn't want anybody to service these vehicles, so they'd rather sell you a whole transmission instead of letting you do this. But let this finish draining. Like I said, put a little tape on that, screw it back in. I'm only gonna go hand tight on this, and then we're gonna start the fill procedure. And then I'm gonna go for a ride and see if there's, I guess while we're driving, we'll see if there's any noticeable difference in just the fluid change. Like I said, at least 4 quarts, 4.5, to at least get this to be able to get to the fill procedure. And the metal splash shield there is shared, so I'm gonna have to put 2 bolts back in there so it doesn't come off. In all fairness, some of that was transfer case fluid that I haven't got to put into a bottle yet, but majority of that is from this car. All right, let me put the phone down. We're gonna finish tidying this up, and then we're gonna go for a test drive. All right, so I've got the funnel in, and we're gonna go ahead and start pouring. Like I said, I'm only gonna do probably about 4 quarts, and I'm going to go up my hill and probably go on the highway and do a loop. I'm gonna try to get it nice and hot, so once we come back, we can actually check the correct fill level. In order to check the fill level on this, you have to pull the driver's side tire off and make sure that the car is 100% level. So once you jack the car up enough to get the tire off, you're gonna have to lower the jack back down to, I actually saw a helpful video last night. Measure a spot to your car, how it sits right now. Since my garage is level, you can use that measurement. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be somewhat close. Jack the car up, take the wheel off, lower it, and then measure to the same distance. So let me go ahead and get the Mercuron fluid, and we're gonna go ahead and pour it in. In order to check that though, I believe this one has a hex on the side of the transmission that you're gonna have to pull off. I have to figure out what size that is. And then it just runs out sort of like a differential or transfer case. Once the fluid runs out, that means the fill level's good. And this transmission, I believe, holds a total of 12 quarts. So all I did today was flush maybe 4 quarts out of it. That's why I want to do it about 3 more times, and then after that I'm going to get it on a regular routine. Probably 30,000 miles. I don't keep vehicles that long, so hopefully this one is different. And the light is down in there to make sure that we're not spilling this everywhere, because I'm not trying to make a mess. Yep, we're making a mess already. Figure out what. We are at about 3 quarts, so 3 quarts left, so I need to dump 2 more into this. What I'm doing now is it's created an air pocket. I'm going to try to lift this up a little bit so it actually has air and can drain down in. But you want to do that again without making a mess. Let's drain. Got about half a quart left. I keep walking off camera. I'm putting the jug on the counter so you can actually see the correct fluid level. Got just a little bit more. I might pour actually a little more than 4. I don't want to pour more than enough because if there's still so much in there, it's going to come, I'm going to end up wasting it. I can use this for the next fluid change. All right. A little less than 1 quart left in there. There's the fluid level on the jug. See what's on the front. Like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and put this cap back in. I'm not gonna show that because you're not gonna be able to see anything anyway. It's extremely tight in there. I need to get the funnel out and put this back in, and we're gonna go for a drive and get this up to operating temp. Fuel plug is back in. Probably fought me 10 minutes. If you've never done it before, it's terrible. So if you kind of stand off to the passenger side, you can kind of get it at an angle, but it's a little rubber hose that it needs to go down into. You have to move it away from the AC line. So it is time to go ahead and go for the test drive. But before I do that, I am going to get in, and I don't know if this is mandatory or not, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyway. I'm going to shift between the gears just for a second, probably about 5 seconds each, and then I'm going to go ahead and back out. Don't know if you have to do this. I'm doing it. It doesn't hurt, can't hurt anything. So and then I need to close up the doors, and then I'm going to start to go up the hill, and we're going to see if the first gear issue that I'm having is fixed. Feels pretty smooth so far, but that's, like I said, it's not a full flush. So give me a couple minutes, lock all the doors and stuff, and we'll go for a test drive. So you're probably not going to be able to visibly see anything on camera, but so these transmissions are kind of known for this. The first to second hard shift. Yeah, that was better. That's better than it's usually been. And then this is the other issue, especially on this hill. Well, that's better too. All right, so it definitely helped. Like I said, this video isn't done yet. I'm going to take it up here, and we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do probably a highway loop. It's only a couple miles, but I figured this hill alone, it definitely shifts better. All right, so that was a good $39. Just one fluid change so far. I can already notice a difference. So I'm pretty excited to see what the next go around is. I would like this car to last me a long time. It's paid for, and I don't like car payments. So let me get this warmed up, and we'll go ahead and we'll check the fluid level on this. So it's actually later in the day. I ended up somehow losing that part of the video clip. I came back from the test drive earlier, and we were getting ready to check the fluid level. I did lose just a little bit of fluid. However, it wasn't a whole bunch. It was maybe 2 to 4 ounces. But I realized that I did not leave the car running. So maybe it's best that I ended up losing that part of the video anyway. I'm human, I make mistakes. So when you want to check the level on this, the car needs to be running. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to have to crawl back under there and take the splash shield off underneath, and we're going to have to remove the wheel. So the wheel needs to be torqued down whenever you're done, of course, and Ford recommends 100 foot-pounds, and it is a 19 millimeter. So the drain plug on this side, the driver's side for the transmission, is a 10 millimeter hex. So I'm going to put the phone down just for a second. I'm going to get the stuff that I need. I'm going to leave the car running anyway. I did just get back from a ride, because I want to make sure this is right. And I'm going to go ahead and also grab a tape measure. So where it's sitting right now, I'm going to go just pick a spot that I can duplicate, and we're going to measure. But I'll show you that in the next clip. So let me get the tools ready, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, so I got the splash shield off. We're going to go ahead and measure on the rocker panel. I'm going to put you guys on the tripod, and we're going to measure. I'm just going to pick a spot that I can duplicate and jack the car up. And then once it's jacked up, pull the wheel off, and then we lower it to the measurement that we've already measured. So give me a couple minutes. Let me put you on the tripod, and we'll get this part ready. Okay. So we're going to measure on the inside, which is 9 3/8. And underneath the car there is an arrow, which will tell you where to jack up from. Sorry it is a little loud. Like I said, the car needs to be running in order to do this. And if you don't have power tools, of course, you'd have to break this. You'd have to break the lug nuts before the car got jammed. I do have a catch pan underneath the car currently. And let me actually get this turned around. Okay, so right here is the hex bolt for the drain plug. Like I said, that is a 10 millimeter. I do need to lower the car to make sure that it is level. So let me go ahead and measure this real quick. It needs to go down. This doesn't have to be perfect, but it needs to be close. Okay. There you go. Actually needs to go just a hair. Okay. My arm might be in the way for this, but it's what we got to do. Okay. So that is broke loose. I am curious to see what this does since I've already lost some. If I had to guess, just the way my luck is, I'm probably gonna have to add some. Back in there. Yeah. So, when the car is running, nothing's coming out. I'm gonna go up top. I'm gonna have to pop that drain plug off, and we're gonna have to go ahead and put fluid in until it starts coming out of this. I'm glad I went ahead and did this. The car does need to be in park in order to do this. So let me go up top and we'll keep an eye on it till fluid starts coming out. Alright, so let me go back up. I'm going to add a little bit more. There it is. So, let me get the drain plug back in. Sorry, I'm bumping the camera. Or it drips everywhere. Alright, I gotta move the camera. I'm gonna put the plug back in real quick. So, I'm hoping I can make this video flow. It's kind of my fault that I lost part of it, but also at the same time, I guess I'm glad that I did, because I checked it wrong. And as you could tell, it was actually low on fluid. My initial test drive earlier, it did probably take out 75% of the harshness, and it made 1 to 2 definitely better. And the 2 to 3 delay at times, also better. And then I noticed the downshifting was better. Only thing I gotta do now is put the splash shield back under it, and I'm gonna have to put the fill cap back on, which is my least favorite, especially with it being as hot as it is. So hopefully this video flows. Sorry that I lost that part of the footage. It happens, but I'm glad I did anyway, because it got done the correct way. So I'm gonna end this part here. Of course, I'm gonna splice in other video after this, so hopefully it flows well. We'll find out as soon as I get it posted. If not, it's because I lost the stuff. I do have a taillight coming for this thing tomorrow, and I would like to replace the cert belt on it, and at some point check the spark plugs, and then I'm pretty much good. I think in the video that I lost, I did say what I was going to do as far as the maintenance level on the transmission goes. I did it now. I'm going to go ahead at 115,000 is my next oil change. I'm going to go ahead and do it again, since I have to pull that stupid splash shield out. I'm going to do it again at 120, and then after that, probably 150. I'll probably do 30,000 mile intervals. I don't keep vehicles that long, so hopefully this one stays around. If I said this part before, sorry. I don't know what I did or didn't say. I'm trying my best to remember. So, but that's it. Thanks again for watching, and like I said, there will be more to this video other than this clip. All right, the last test drive. I'm gonna have to try to figure out how to weasel this video in. I'm going to see how it shifts now that it's actually at the correct level. Like I said, I don't expect this to ever be 100%. That was a good shift. Because these transmissions are just known for them kind of being clunky. But I can tell you it's a whole lot better than it was. And I am, if that's all it takes, I will definitely be doing them again. But now that it's actually all the way filled to the correct level, I actually think it shifts better than it did earlier. And earlier was a vast improvement over what it was. Like I said, it probably took 75% of the harshness that I had out of that. That was really my biggest complaint, was the transmission in this car. And sometimes it'd be silky smooth, other times you get a pretty harsh first gear shift. So yeah, mostly it's gone now. So I'll definitely do this again 2 more times, and then again at 150,000, because it's only at that. So yeah, I'm impressed. So for 39, or was it 39 bucks I think I spent on this, it was worth it. So definitely not a bad job. I know online they say to go ahead and use 4.5 quarts. I wasn't doing that. I barely used 4, just a hair past 4, because I wasn't trying to waste. Oh yeah, it's all over the wall down there in the pit. So this is a messy job. I hate how Ford designed this. This is completely stupid, but it is what it is. I picked this car. So if you guys have any other comments or anything, if you have a better way of doing this, a cleaner, neater way of doing this, go ahead and comment below, and obviously like, share, and subscribe these videos, and it really helps us out. And thank you again for watching. Bonus part of the video, forgot to mention, of course, you want to torque your wheels back down. They are 100 foot-pounds, I found out. I was only doing 90, so they are 100. And the hex bolt size that is on the side of the transmission, some of these came with a 14mm plug and like a normal bolt. This one obviously has the hex. It is a 10mm. So I have a cheapy tool. It doesn't say anything other than 3/8 on it, which is the size of the ratchet. But yeah, so that's what size it is. And like I said, we've been doing different style content. So life has happened, and the pad hasn't really got anything else. So I did move my furniture over. Need more fill dirt and stuff for there, but I did get grass cut yesterday. So anyway, thanks again for watching. I'm gonna finish putting this all back together and clean the inside of this car out.